We
have chapter 39 in business AS level, inventory control. What is inventory? It says businesses purchase raw materials, semi-finished goods, and components. A washing machine manufacturer, for example, may buy electric motors, computer chips, rubber drive belts, nuts, bolts, sheet metal.
Open video.
Sheet metals and a variety of metal and plastic components. These inventories are also called stocks and are used to make products, which are then sold to customers. Some businesses also hold inventories of their finished goods before they are delivered to customers. In practice, a variety of inventories are held for different reasons. So why do we call it inventory? We call it inventory because these are stocks of goods that a business actually sell. So what are the different types of what are the reasons why inventories are held? Number one, raw materials and components. These are purchased from suppliers before production. So they are stored by firms to cope with changes in production level. Delays in production can be avoided if materials are always available. Materials and components are supplied from stores rather than waiting for a new delivery to arrive. Also, if a company is let down by suppliers, it can use stocks to carry on production. One of the reasons why businesses keep stocks is because these stocks are used for production, and they keep it because they have to use it for production. Another reason why they keep stock is because sometimes they might be let down by the suppliers. So which means suppliers might delay the supplies. So if suppliers delay supply, they have other materials, to use for production until before the supplier supply. That's the first reason why we keep stocks, which is because of raw materials and components. Are you here with me, please? The second one is work in progress. These are partly finished goods in a television assembly plant. Work in progress would be televisions on the assembly line, which are only partly built. And that is why we have to keep stock, is because of work in progress. Work in progress means the business is about, or the product is about to be done. It's still in process. Then the third one is finished goods. When we talk about finished goods, these are goods that we are ready to sell. So the main reason for keeping finished goods is to cope with changes in demand. If there is a sudden rise in demand, a firm can meet urgent orders by supplying customers from inventory holdings. This avoids the need to step up production rates quickly. We keep raw materials because we can use them.
So the recording.
Thank you. I'm using mine.
Recording.
I just stopped that already. We keep raw materials. Why do we keep raw materials and components? We keep raw materials and components because we use them for production. We use raw materials and components because we keep raw materials and components because we use them for production. That is for raw materials and components, because they are stocks too. For work in progress, these are partly finished goods. We can also keep them because they are still in the process to complete the production. So we can still keep them. And the last one is finished goods. Why do we keep finished goods? We keep finished goods because the demand for them might increase at any point in time. So if demand increases, we won't have to start rushing to make production. So we have finished goods available that we can sell if there's a surge in demand. So these are the reasons why we keep stocks. Do you get it? Because stock means raw materials and components. Stock also means work in progress. Stock also means finished goods. So why do we keep all these things? We keep them because of certain reasons. Why? One, for raw materials and components, we keep them for production. For work in progress, because they are not still done yet. So they are still in the process of completion. So we keep them. And for finished goods, we are keeping them because demand might increase at any point in time. So we won't have to rush to make production quicker because demand is increasing. So we have finished goods that we can sell if there's a surge in demand. Do you get it, please? So that's about that. So we'll go to inventory control. Are you there? Be right back, please. So go to inventory control. One of the most important tasks in inventory control is to maintain the right level of inventories. This involves keeping inventory level as low as possible so that the cost of holding them are minimized. At the same time, inventory must not be allowed to run out, which can result in production being stopped and customers being let down. Inventory control. So when it comes to inventory control, it simply means
Inventory control.
So when it comes to inventory control, it simply means you have you are able to maintain the right level of inventories.
Yes.
You don't keep too much and you don't keep too little, because when you keep too much, it means so much money is being tied down, and that affects your cash inflow.
Okay.
And when you keep so little, it means you might not be able to meet the demands of customers.
Yeah.
So either ways, you need to keep a level. You need to keep a moderate level of inventory so that you don't have too much or you don't have too little. Do you understand?
Yes.
So what are the factors that influence inventory level? The first one is demand. Sufficient stocks need to be kept to satisfy normal demand. Firms must also carry enough inventory to cover growth in sales and unexpected demand. So the term buffer stocks is used to describe inventory held. So one of the factors that influence how much resources or how much stock you keep is demand. So if demand is increasing, it means you have to keep more to meet up with the demand. And if demand is reducing, you keep less. Do you get it, please? So the other one is stockpile growth. Do you have a question about? Toy manufacturers, for example, build up stocks in the few months up to December, ready for the Christmas period. Coal-fired power stations build up inventory of fuel in the summer when demand for electricity is low. So less coal is needed and the price of coal is lower. This means they have inventory ready for the higher demand in the winter and have made savings on the cost.
Yes.
So another factor that influence inventory level is stockpile growth.
Yes.
You think about the peak period, you think about the off-peak period. In the peak period, you need to stockpile. In the off-peak period, you would have reduced the capacity then. It means you are able to save when the demand is less, and you are able to increase your revenue when the demand is high.
Okay.
So that is stockpile. The third one is cost of inventory holding. So if inventory is expensive to hold, then only a small quantity will be kept.
Yes.
Furniture retailers may keep low inventory levels because the cost is high and sales level are uncertain. Another factor that determines how much inventory you can keep or don't keep is the cost of holding it. If the cost of keeping inventory is high, then you don't have to keep.
Yes.
You stop keeping. But if the cost is less, you keep.
Okay.
The amount of working capital. A business that is short of working capital may not be able to purchase more inventory, even if it is needed. So the amount of money you have available. So your working capital can also determine if you can keep stock or not. If you don't have enough working capital, irrespective of how the demand is increasing, you won't still be able to keep stock.
Okay.
The type of inventory. So when we talk about the type of inventory, we're talking about long-lasting the product is. If they are perishable goods, that means you cannot keep them for a long period of time. But if they are non-perishable, you can keep them.
Okay.
Perishable means they can easily get spoiled.
Okay.
Like banana, these things, you cannot keep them for a long period of time.
Okay.
But things that you can keep for a long period of time, you can hold on to them. Lead time. This is the amount of time it takes for a stock purchase to be ordered, received, inspected, and be made ready for use. So the longer the lead time, the higher the minimum level of inventory needed.
Yes.
So if the lead time.
The lead time.
Lead time is the time at which you make an order and you get the product.
Okay.
So if the lead time is high, it means you have to keep enough inventory. But if the lead time is less, it means it doesn't take time to make an order and to receive the order.
Yes.
Do you understand lead time there?
Lead time is how much it takes for stock to be ordered and received.
So if the lead time is high,
yes,
it simply means you have to keep those stocks so much. But if the lead time is less, then there's no point keeping them because you can always get them at any point in time. External factors. Fear of future shortages may prompt firms to hold higher levels of raw materials in inventory as a precaution. So firms also keep stock for precautionary motive because there might be scarcity in the future and they don't want to disappoint their customers, or they don't want to start looking for stock at a higher price when they are scarce. So these are the reasons why, these are the factors that influence how stocks are being held. Do you have any question?
No. Yes, sir. Ski.
We'll go to interpretation of a stock control diagram. What?
Oh, it's a whole video.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have interpretation of a stock control diagram. A flow of stock control in a business is illustrated using the stock control diagram. So we have the lead time, we have the reorder quantity, we have the lead time, reorder quantity, and that's how it is. Look at the minimum stock level. The lead time is the period between when you order for the product and when it is being received. The other quantity is that period of time that you start thinking about making new orders because the stock you have are about to finish.
Yes, okay.
Then going back to that's the minimum stock level, the reorder level, the maximum stock level. The reorder level, I told you already, that's the reorder quantity when you start thinking about making orders. Do you get it or not?
Yes.
Please? Okay. I think we go that there's activity one, you can just leave it. It's the same here. So go to buffer stocks. Are you there?
Yes.
For buffer stocks, it says some businesses keep buffer stocks. This is an
Yes.
emergency stock. What?
51 calculation.
What's calculation there? The minimum stock level.
Minimum. We do?
Yeah, sure. So here they say calculate the minimum stock level, reorder level, and reorder. The minimum stock level is.
Shall I answer?
Yeah, I'm doing it already. Don't worry.
Oh, we're not gonna.
I don't want to write. No, let me just read it. Let me pause the video.
No, wait a second.
Okay. Activity one. So Melco Electronics operates from a factory in Marseille, France, and assembles control panels for computer games. The company imports a number of components from around the world, mainly China. One supplier is Shanghai Chips.
Yes.
A particular company chip to the company. This is a new supplier and was given the contract to supply chips because they were 19% cheaper than the original supplier. The change in supply occurred 12 months ago. Figure 2 shows stock movement of this component over 8-month period. So we have it. We have the lead time, we have the reorder level, we have the maximum level. The maximum level here, the maximum stock level is around 400,000. Can you see there? The reorder level is around 200,000. And the reorder quantity is around 300,000. So let's look at it one at a time. First, the first question is about recalculating the minimum stock level. So the minimum stock level here is around 100,000. From 0 to 100,000. That's the minimum.
Yes.
Do you see there? 100,000 is the minimum stock level. Then the reorder level is 200,000. Reorder level is 200,000. Reorder level is 200,000. Then they said reorder quantity. So how long do you reorder new quantity is around 300,000 because the maximum you can keep is 400. So as soon as you get to 300, you start thinking about 400. You start thinking about reordering. Just what I'm talking about here, okay? And the lead time. They said is 0 to 1 month, is 1 to 2 months, right? So from 0 to 1 month, we have 1, 2, 3 weeks. That means 3 weeks in between.
3 weeks in between.
1, 2, 3, 3 weeks.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 3 weeks.
1, 2, 3, yeah.
So it's around 3 weeks. That is the lead time. Any question about that?
No.
So question 2, they said.
It's close, Mr. Recording.
Question 2, they said, explain one reason for the change in stock level after 6 months. Based on the case study. Here I got for the first 6 months, stock of the circuit board fluctuates uniformly. So for the first 6 months, at the same period, uniformly. The flow is uniform.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Uniformly.
So stocks fall at a constant rate from 400 to 100,000, from 400 to 100,000, 400 to 100,000, 400 to 100,000. Can you see it there?
I'm seeing.
For question 2, they said, explain the one reason for the change in the stock level after the 6 months. After the 6 months, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. After the 6 months, it fell drastically. Yes or no?
To the 7th, yes.
So, but what is the pattern of circuit board flow of circuit board here? 400 to 100, 400 to 100, 400 to 100. So it means for the first 6 months, stocks of the coin board, the circuit boards fluctuate uniformly from 400 to 100, 400 to 100, 400 to 100, 400 to 100. After then the 6th month, it fell drastically. Do you understand?
6 months.
After 6 months, from 400 to 100, each month is 400 to 100, 400 to 100, 400 to 100. But after 6 months, it fell to 0. That is the point there.
Okay.
So what could be the reason for this? There are 2 reasons for this. Maybe Mekos failed to make some orders, or the suppliers did not bring. They failed to bring the orders.
Okay.
Do you get the point?
Yes.
So the 2 reasons why we might have a fall in order is because maybe Melco failed to make order,
Yes.
or 2, the suppliers failed to supply Melco. And based on the case study here, they said the new suppliers are 90% cheaper.
Yes.
So if the new suppliers are 90% cheaper, it means because they are a cheap supplier, they might have failed in one aspect, and that's why they cannot make orders. They might that might be the reason they might unable to supply Melco. So that's question B, question 2, and question 3. Discuss the possible consequences of the change in stock level after the 6 months for Melco Electronics. It becomes impossible for Melco to produce. This makes workers and machines to be idle. So if you don't have supplies or resources, how do you produce? And the circuits are part of the most important components for the production. So that means workers will be idle, machines will be idle for those 6 months. After the 6 months of reorder, do you understand? 2, because you cannot produce, it means you delay customers' order. You won't be able to give to customers what they needed. And that means customers might start thinking about alternatives. They get disappointed and start looking for to start buying from your competitors. Do you understand? And that might also reduce your revenue and your reputation. That's activity 1. I think it's clear. So we go to buffer stocks now. Are you there?
I got you, Mr.
Some businesses keep buffer stocks. This is an emergency stock held in case there is a stock shortage. A business might hold buffer stocks to finished goods in case there is a sudden increase in demand. If a business is not able to meet a surge in demand, it will miss out on sales opportunities. This is also the fear of losing regular customers, which is a serious long-term problem. Businesses that need to hold buffer stocks of finished goods are those that experience sharp fluctuations in demand. Buffer stocks means you keep stock in case there's a surge in your demand. Because if you're unable to keep stocks, it means when demand increases, you are missing out on revenue. Do you get that? Some businesses need to hold buffer stocks of important raw materials and components. This is to protect themselves from a break in supply, which can lead to a break in production. Why do you keep buffer stock of raw materials? You keep buffer stock of raw materials because if you don't have enough raw materials, it could bring about a break in your production. And if there's a break in your production, it means there's a stoppage. And if there's a stoppage, your customers, you won't be able to complete your finished goods, and customers might be disappointed. So we go to implications of poor inventory control. Businesses need to hold the right amount of inventory. Holding too much or too little inventory can both have negative impacts on the business. Holding too much inventory. When you hold too much inventory, if too much inventory is held, a business will incur unnecessary costs. Storage. This is the first cost you incur, storage cost. When you keep a lot of inventory, that means you need to increase your storage facility. And increasing your storage facility increases your cost of production, your cost of storage. 2, opportunity cost. Capital tied up in inventory earns no reward. The money used to purchase inventory could have been used, could have been put to other uses, such as new machinery. This might have earned business money. When you have too much inventory, it's an opportunity cost, because the money you use in tying up, the capital you use in tying up those inventory will be used for something else that will be profitable. The third one, spoilage cost. If they are perishable goods, they might as well spoil. And if they spoil, you don't make money from them. Administrative and financial costs. This includes the cost of placing and processing orders, handling costs, and cost of failing to anticipate price increases. If you keep a lot of stocks, if you keep a lot of stocks, you might have to spend on workers that have to monitor the stocks. And that increases your cost. Unsold inventory. Not all the stocks you keep will be sold. So that means there may be, it might lead to unsold result. And if there are inventory that are unsold, it simply means you are making less revenue. Shrinkage. Very large stocks might result in an increase in theft by employees. Your employees might start stealing some of your stocks. You wouldn't know because you have so much. Do you get it? Holding too little inventory. What are the consequences of holding too little inventory? To reduce the cost of holding too much inventory, the business may fall into the trap of holding too little. There are several problems with holding too little inventory. Number one, the business may not be able to cope with unexpected increase in demand. There may be a surge in demand. Because you keep too little, this demand, you won't be able to meet up with the demand. And that might means you are losing out on revenue. If inventory deliveries are delayed, the firms may run out of inventory and have to stop production. This can lead to inactive labor and machinery idle while the firms wait for delivery. If you keep too little, can you stop that already? If you keep too little, you might have a break in production, because if the ones you kept are unable to be cannot complete your production process. It means you have to hold on.
Yes.
And because of you holding on, workers become idle, machines become idle because
Yes.
you are waiting for stocks to be delivered.
Okay.
A firm which holds very low inventory may have to place more orders. This will raise total ordering cost. It might also miss out on discount from bulk buying. When you keep too little inventory, it simply means you won't be able to exploit economies of scale, which is bulk purchasing.
Okay.
And you might have to spend more in cost of ordering. Any question about the implication of
No.
poor inventory control? So too little or too much is a poor inventory control. You have to keep a moderate one. So go to just-in-time management of inventory. Just-in-time manufacture, JIT manufacturing is an important part of lean production and the casing approach. It was developed in the Japanese shipbuilding industry in the 1950s and 1960s. The industry recognized that a great deal of money was tied up in inventory. Traditionally, 1 month's supply of steel was held by a shipyard. However, as the industry became more competitive, shipbuilders insisted that steel suppliers deliver orders just in time. In essence, a few hours or less before the steel was needed. This reduced the need for high levels of working capital and improved the financial performance of the business. GIT was extended to every stage of production. For example, raw materials were delivered just in time to be made into parts. Parts were delivered just in time to be made into goods, and goods were produced and delivered just in time to be sold. So just in time was introduced in other Japanese industries, such as the car industry, and spread to other parts of the world, such as the USA and Europe. So the point about just in time, let me just explain it, let me summarize it. Just in time reduces the use of it reduces the cost of tying up materials.
Okay.
So there's just in time when raw materials is needed. So we only order for these raw materials when they are about to be used for production.
Okay.
We only finish the product when we are ready to sell them.
Okay.
So that is what just in time is about. So do you get it or not?
Yes.
So what are the advantages and disadvantages of just in time? Are you there?
Yes, sir.
1, it improves cash flow since money is not tied up in stock. So there's improvement in your cash flow because you're not tying more money. 2, the system reduces waste, obsolete, and damaged stock. You don't keep stocks, so they're not going to get perishable. They're not going to get perished. They're not going to get spoiled. So the cost of spoilage is not going to be available anymore. The 3rd one, the cost of stocking are reduced significantly. You need a warehouse. You need to keep these stocks. So the cost of keeping them are no more longer there because now there's just in time. Oh, we need to produce, then we order. We need to sell. Because we need to sell, we need to produce. Because we need to produce, we need to order. So we order based on the fact that we want to sell. That is just in time. More scope of integration with the factory's computer system. So it starts from the sales department. As soon as the sales please, can you be here?
Yes.
As soon as the sales department receives an order, it immediately informs the production department. The production department immediately informs the suppliers. So there's integration within the factory's computer system. Okay. The motivation of workers is improved. They are given more responsibility and encouraged to work in teams. Look at the teamwork. Okay. Sales department to the production department to the suppliers. Okay. What are the problems when it comes to just in time? A lot of faith is placed in the reliability and flexibility of suppliers. Yeah. If orders are made, you inform the production department. As soon as you inform the production department needs to wait for the suppliers. Yeah. But that means everything depends on the suppliers. So if the suppliers messes up, everything is over. That's a problem. 2, increase ordering and administration costs. You might not be able to, because you have to order when demand is needed. Yes. It increases your cost because it has to be express. The 3rd point, you won't be able to exploit economies of scale through bulk purchasing because you only buy the ones that are needed just in time. Okay. So that means you cannot buy in bulk. At risk of break in supply and machinery breakdowns. Yes. Machinery can break down because you are making, as soon as you make order, you constantly produce. Yes. That might put strain on the use of equipment. And also workers might have to wait for the supplies to come. That means workers are becoming idle. Yes. The second to the last one, difficult to cope with sharp increase in demand. If demand increases suddenly, you won't be able to cope if you are using just in time. Yeah. And the last one, possible loss of reputation if customers are let down by late deliveries. If you are unable to deliver promptly to your customers, your reputation is on the line. Waste minimization, are you there?
Yes.
For waste minimization, are you there, please?
Yes, waste minimization. Failure to control inventory.
They said a failure to control inventory adequately can result in wasted inventory. This is most likely to happen if inventory is perishable. Perishable stocks are goods are those which physically deteriorate after a certain amount of time and therefore cannot be used. Consequently, they have to be thrown away. Fresh produce such as food, vegetable, I explained that already. So to reduce waste, you might have to manage your inventory well. If you're unable to manage your inventory well, they become unsold, they perished, and you just have to throw them away. Money is wasted.
Okay.
Inventory can also be wasted if it has a limited lifetime and become obsolete after a certain amount of time. So if it becomes useless, it cannot do what it's supposed to do after a period of time. It becomes waste. So they may adopt some of the methods outlined below to minimize waste. So what are the ways in which waste minimization can be done? Number one, if goods are perishable, if these goods can easily spoil, place them in chilled storage like fridges or freezers. This can prolong the life of perishable goods. That's number one. Two, merchants have to be especially conscientious when forecasting demand pattern for perishable goods. You have to be straight. You have to be objective when you are making your forecast regarding perishable goods.
Yes.
The third one is stock rotation, which means FIFO and LIFO, first in, first out. First in, first out.
Yes.
The first goods you buy are the first that you have to sell,
Yeah.
not the least ones you bought. That is FIFO. Do you understand that? Many businesses use computers to manage inventory control. So manage your inventory controls too, to know when you have to make orders and when you don't have to make orders.
Okay.
So businesses might be able to adjust production prices to help minimize waste. You can also adjust your price so that it becomes attractive to customers. Then they can buy it instead of becoming unsold. Perishable goods need to be transported rapidly. If transportation can be speeded up, then goods will be reach the marketplace more quickly and be available for sale in the best condition. So transportation too. Find the fastest way of your distribution.
Okay.
And the last one, to minimize waste, a business might find creative methods in the disposal of goods that have passed their sale by date. For example, food products might be given to charities or sold as animal feed. So instead of throwing them away, you can give it to charities or for waste as animal feed. Do you get that?
Yeah.
So we have competitive advantage from lean production. Are you there? For competitive advantage, well, what does competitive advantage mean? It simply means you have edge over your competitors. Are you with me, please?
Yes.
Great.
Edge over competitors.
The use of GIT stock control is often an important element of if a business is adopting lean production. Lean production aims to use fewer resources in production. A range of production techniques such as casing, which means continuous improvement, cell production in cell, flexible manufacturing, which is simply flow production, team working empowerment, and multi-scaling are used to minimize waste. Lean producers use less time, less inventory, fewer materials, less labor, less space, and fewer suppliers. Lean producers are likely to have a competitive advantage because the reduction in waste and resources used will lower production costs. Specifically, competitiveness will be improved because lean production, before we go into that, with lean production, few resources are used, few time are wasted. Everything is done as at when due. Okay. So this gives you a competitive advantage. So how can you improve lean production?
Hello.
Yeah, just click on. So how it says specifically competitiveness will be improved because lean production raises productivity. With lean production, productivity is expected to rise. And when you talk about productivity, it means the amount of output that can be derived with a given level of input. Yes. Reduces cost and cuts lead times. Your cost of production would fall. And the period between the order and supply would be less. Lowers the number of faulty products. With lean production, because everything is done promptly and with standard, it means goods might not be faulty. Yeah. And you don't have to waste things. Improve reliability and speed up design time. Customers can be able to get their goods as at when due. And that means your reputation will be better. With this improvement, because businesses will be able to charge lower prices, offer better quality and reliability, and fight off rivals in the global market.
Yeah.
Because you are able to increase your productivity, because you are able to reduce your lead time, because you are able to give quality products. This gives you this, and you are able to supply to your customers as a when due. This gives you a competitive advantage over your competitors. Any question about it?
No.
So that ends inventory control, chapter 39.
Huh? 8 and 9.